It is January 27th, 2022. I have a very Hamilton jawline tonight. Look at that. Founding Fathers with some visual. It's just when I bloat, it starts to not look like it used to. But anyway, alright, so I was looking at the television note. I mentioned earlier some really frightening whatever and timeless masterpiece. I don't know. Looks like flying elephants over a carpet of clouds. Breathing apparatus is what it looks like to me in that color. But anyway, so at Machiavelli, most respected Machiavelli level. So there's this thing in the local area that they mentioned. It's called LaGuardia, LGA. Those are the symbols. There was a JFK one too, but they really focused on LaGuardia tonight. It was falling apart. Apparently, it's what we have in the local area. I think it's part of. I mean, I don't think the locals feel that it's a problem, but if they start looking at what's going on through perhaps a presidential lens of if presidential level is having a problem or pushing the wrong whatever with other whatever in whatever. It was a crime scene when I arrived. I don't know the details. It's what I can see and it's what I believe. Again, if there's like nuances of whatever, but they were speaking today on LaGuardia and some multi-whatever renovation project. The new mayor and the governor, Kathy Hochul, was working on. But this is at a local level. But this also has... their answer was something called a TSA. I don't know what that means in outer things. But it, to me, looks very... very tropical weather, like moving into a northeast, like Newfoundland type or New England type situation, which I don't want to fuel on the fire, but it's been a known ongoing concern, and I don't know if all of the correct faculty is speaking one familial correction or acknowledging it in the right whatever. But this is what is going on today.
It's a milestone today in the renovation of LaGuardia Airport.
Another upgrade was completed there. It was once the...
Now this is what I feel when I say off guard. I was caught off guard because when they asked for reinforcements, they sent in a guard, but it would be more of this type of guard. First, some children came in that I didn't recognize, just showed up in the school district this year in the county of Queens. And then they called in for some reinforcements, and then I saw a news program where this was more of the National Guard that they sent to help reinforce in the hospitals and schools. Then there was this whole Supreme Court justice thing. I'm finding out a whole lot about Joe Biden I didn't know with his presidential campaign. Still didn't vote for him. Didn't take part in that nightmare. I voted for Trump though. I'll take onus on that. I don't know what his campaign stuff was though. But he was the whatever between the family estate break-in that I was like, why am I the only one who is seeing this? I thought they filmed it and put it on TV.
The butt of jokes. CBS 2's Andrea Grimes has a story.
1, 2, 3. Governor Hochul leading the ribbon cutting on the brand new Sky Bridge at Terminal B, the latest in a massive project to update the once dilapidated LaGuardia Airport.
It's very impressive, especially if you had to go through the old terminal. Totally wowed. I mean, like, everything is clean, modern, and new.
A big change from dirty and
Now, is this blood money that goes into these reinvestment projects? I mean, it's hard to tell because I don't know where the guard with On Guard from when Ben went to Boy Scouts, and there was some, what looked then like some future, like some leaders, I was kind of falsely put at false hope that they existed permanently and I would have a big brother to rely on, not that they're Linda and Lou born, but maybe they have this theoretical, like, big brother's always watching. Right, got that. I just like him to look familial to whatever, because there's some real life events on this island with all of this dilapidated, non-secured air travel. It's not a military secured air travel zone or allowance or whatever. It's been going on for a while. How does one protect the Mount Rushmore National Treasure or Monument and the children that are ancestral, left here for some reason? Thought we could get some guard help, but they keep sending the wrong individuals for the whatever. Gets really hard to convince myself or explain to myself what else is going on.
and dated. The old airport's condition not lost on flyers or then Vice President Biden, who famously had this to say about
Now, when they say flyers, I heard on one of those Victorian Renaissance spring in my step, they got a Joey, a marsupial, and then they've got a flyer. This is a different type of flyer completely, just so the recycling of linguistics and familial members between some extension or larger family picture, but needing to protect one's heirloom genetics is all in the same wild or rewild screening space, so I am not taken out of whatever.
it in 2014.
If I took you in blindfold and you took you to LaGuardia Airport in New York, you must think I must be in some third world country. No, I'm not joking.
That was then.
I wish I had a blindfold, but I'm going to let this serve its purpose. We're going to invite President Biden here, and when he takes off the blindfold and sees this, he'll know that we listened.
Today's event celebrated
She
this
said
new
Terminal
Sky Bridge
B.
and the December completion
Sky
of Terminal
Bridge.
B's second concourse. The entire terminal, much of which already opened, is a $4 billion project that includes more.
$4 billion. For people who just write checks and don't check the facts, this is the update. For me, I'm one of the Standard and Poor around here. Kathy Hochul has gotten to a level of governance, which is wonderful. But again, I'm not like able to write millions of charity checks, and I don't know her financial or fiscal or monetary situation, but there is some level of governance over her and chain of command, and then there's some integral infrastructure of guardianship. I'm just not quite sure, the people that just write the checks, if they're following along correctly, because there's some things that have gone unacknowledged and or disclosed inappropriately, that misled actions along the way that have led to wherever we are, and this doesn't look or feel right. But I don't know how to put words to it.
Includes more than 1 million square feet, 35 gates, shops, and amenities. Construction started in 2016 with some growing pains as officials tweaked how to rebuild the airport while also keeping it operational. There were several instances of traffic backups and flyers getting out of cars on the Grand Central Parkway to make their flights. But now
I don't travel. I don't have money to travel. I haven't traveled since I think 2013 was the last time. I believe it's the last plane ticket. So this, and how it's progressed with the airport, any kind of construction project. Again, unless they mention it on teleportation, television news, it wouldn't have been brought to the front cortex and visual cortex of my life frame.
a much more welcoming site into New York.
This is more than just a place where people take.
Now, this is the gentleman who they're saying is the mayor-elect. I did not vote for him. I do not know how they get on a mayoral agenda or schedule. Not just he, but anything that came before him. The New York City, whatever, with the 5 boroughs, I'm not quite sure who's working where or what or how they facilitate things and what orders they're taking from.
Take off in land. This is our front door to our city.
The work here at LaGuardia is not over. Terminal C, another $4 billion project, is expected to be complete sometime this spring. At LaGuardia Airport, Andrea Grimes, CBS 2 News.
I don't know if I recognize the place. And another sign of just how far the airport has come, LaGuardia recently won a prestigious UNESCO award for Best New Airport in the World.
Never thought I'd say this, but I
It's
can't
not,
wait to go.
I know.
it's not a new
Imagine
airport,
that.
though.
Well, meantime, the federal government is calling the increase in deaths on American roadways a national crisis. So they have a new plan, and they're putting it in place. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg released the National Roadway Safety Strategy, and it includes rethinking speed limits and also the use of speed cameras. In just the first 6 months of 2021, 20,000 people died in car crashes.
These are statistics I'm unfamiliar with, because I don't get any kind of numbers or updates or whichever. It gets really confusing. Hang on. And I don't know who's talking, who's double talking. It gets confusing as well. Here.
First, during recent years, as people drove at higher speeds, more recklessly, more distracted.
The plan also includes $6 billion in grants for
This level of money and how it gets distributed, what the instructions are, how it gets very confusing because the roads in New York are so horrible. But again, it's tied into a separate argument completely with.
for safer roads.
There's also, I saw Slovenia put a flying car in the air, and they don't use FAA. They had some other 3-letter symbol that they had announced, or they were speaking of, which I had never heard of. Now, this is Lonnie Quinn. He's the weatherman at Channel 2. He's showing tonight there's satellite and radar data. There's something called Euro, EURO data, or Euro whatever. Then there's a GRAF, which I don't know what that acronym's out for, but he makes mention of
Look
it
outside as of
tonight,
right now.
which is
Here's
not
what
usual.
we are dealing with. You have a temperature coming in right now at, here we go, 31 degrees. So the cold air is in place. All right. I know you see a little bit of a haze there, so it's a mostly clear sky. All right. Let's get to your overnight low. Cold air gets colder, right? Overnight, we're taking you down to 28. Could be a couple isolated snow showers out there. Not just tonight in the overnight hours, but even into your day tomorrow, a couple of snow showers, 36. Anything you see tomorrow during the daytime hours is not the nor'easter. The nor'easter has a timing that looks like this. Friday night, it would sort of be into our area, and it's snowing south and east. This is Friday night. This is your nor'easter. Saturday morning, you're into steady snow. By midday, the heavy snow is east. Some folks west are actually starting to see some peaks of sunshine, if you can believe that. And then by Saturday night, the storm exits altogether. So let's get into the dynamics. Watch
Dynamics. Here we are. Satellite and radar for AccuWeather.
Watch this little circle showing not too much of anything other than some cloud cover. This flow coming in from the Gulf, sort of the southern jet. Watch how this is all going to happen. Now they're merging right here, okay? It's starting to come together. This is Friday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They will eventually make that merger, make their way into our area. Now you're looking at Saturday, 7 o'clock in the morning. There's your center of circulation, so it is quite a ways offshore. So we do believe our eastern areas see the bigger snow totals as opposed to our western areas, and then it sort of pushes up and out, like I said, for Saturday night.
Now, this says Euro snowfall.
The amount of snow we pick up. The European is saying 17.4 Montauk, 19.9 Riverhead, 8.3 New York, 12.5 Toms River. All these
That's
numbers
where
are
I
coming
am,
down a little
8.3.
bit, just a little bit for the European. And then you take a look at the graph. The graph is saying 12 inches from.
Now it says GRAF snowfall.
For Montauk, 3.2 in New York City. Nothing north and west. I can show you the.
So one says 8.3, the other says 3.2 in the area that I'm in. Same snowstorm.
The smallest model puts about 6 inches Montauk, like an inch or so around New York City. So what do you plan on? What do you plan on when there's this kind of disparity in the models? I always say, when I tell my family, you prepare for the bigger number. If you get smaller amounts, be grateful for that. I think a foot or more is possible for the east end of Long Island. 6 to 12, I'm splitting the city in half. The western side could see a 2 to 6 inch range, and then little to nothing as you go north and west of that. More all day long, and we'll be.
So when I say that there's origami, like geospatial origami, that is somehow pressurized and like the gravity is off, there's people who are doing weather models for atmospheric pressure, planet pressure, like whatever they do for a living. I don't have words for in importance, and careers in industry that I was never even introduced to. I don't have a vocabulary for vernacular. I don't have any of that stuff. But what I do know is what my personal body is, the pressure it's under, and how it contorts, and it hurts, and it's progressively gotten worse. And for that, I'm not clear, or I'm not sure why. I say it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way universe. Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, which is where I am at the moment. And it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. But my health matrices is being crushed, and I know it has something, it's somehow interwoven with whatever the disparity is at weather forecast for this area. And I'm not quite sure how that weaves into like a larger tapestry of other areas, since supposedly we're on a sphere and the blanket is all around us.